What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a new steering wheel and hub on a 1990 Miata and how to remove the stock one. And since that one doesn't have an airbag, I'm going to show you a little trick to keep that little airbag light off, which really it's going to be on, but I'm putting electrical tape around it so you won't see it. But yeah, first step, get the airbag off. And to do that, there's 4 little screws. Well, they're not screws, they're nuts. So you need a socket. I'll tell you what size in a minute. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 4. Alright? Before you start any of this, what you want to do is just unhook the negative side of your battery so the airbag doesn't accidentally blow up in your face and you don't get shocked or whatever. So just undo the negative side of the battery. Okay, so these nuts in there are 10 millimeters, so just bust out your 10 millimeter ratchet, take these 4 nuts off, and the airbag should pop right off. Alright, so once you remove those 4 bolts, this is what's going to happen. The airbag is just going to slide right out of the steering wheel. There's going to be this little string holding it on. You can just cut that off, some of these. And what you want to do, this orange one is for the horn, and this blue one is for the airbag. You want to unplug this, and then cut this, and then the airbag will just come right out. Okay, so now it's unplugged, and you cut this little string, and here's your airbag. You could keep it, you could sell it on eBay, do whatever you want with it. But that's probably not going back into my car. Alright, so next step is to loosen this up. But first, my wheel is turned a little bit to the right. You want to make sure that your wheel is absolutely freaking perfectly straight. Otherwise, when you put that on, it's going to be crooked. So what I'm going to do is loosen this up, and then I'm going to straighten it out, and then I'm going to take it off by hand, so that, because if I straighten it now and then take it off, it's probably going to turn because this looks pretty tight. So loosen this, don't take it off, turn the wheel straight with your hand, and then take this all the way off. Alright? To save you some time, this is a 21 millimeter, and you're going to want a deep socket and a pretty large ratchet so that, you know, if you have a little socket, maybe an extension, so it clears the rim of the steering wheel. Alright? Okay, I got this nut loose to the point where I can finish taking it off by hand, but you see what I mean? The wheel turns when you take that nut off with the ratchet, so now I'm going to straighten it out before I take it off. Okay, so now when you know you have it perfectly straight and you went out and you checked your wheels, everything's perfectly straight, you just get this nut to the very end, and then you can start pulling and hitting the wheel to get it off. Like, I'd recommend, you know, hitting it like that a couple times, and then, well, I can't really do it with the camera, but put one hand here, and just pull back and forth, like, alternately. So alright, what I did was I put one hand here and just pulled together, and it came off, no problems. So you just fully take this off. You're gonna need this, so save it because it's going in that, and then just finish pulling it off. There you go, your stock steering wheel is out and you're left with this. I'm just gonna quickly clean that up. Alright, so you see this like plug thing right here? It's kind of like in the way, so it's not gonna clear the bottom of this, see? So what you're gonna do is, if you get this specific one, you're gonna want to take this plastic piece off. This is the grounding for the horn. There's no other way to do it. Actually, if you have like a cutter, you could cut a little notch out in the plastic so that it'll go around that, because this rotates with this, so if you cut a notch out, it'd be perfect. But I'm just going to, this is the horn piece, so I'm just going to wire probably like a button somewhere, but I don't need to do that now because I don't really care at the moment. I just want my awesome wheel on. So yeah, take this piece off and then it'll fit pretty good after that. It just pulled right off. No like need to cut it off, no real effort, it just kind of pulled off. And then you can put this on, but you see how it says top right there? You want to make sure that that is perfectly aligned with the like roof or whatever you're using for a reference for the top. So after you get it to where you like it and it's up top and you think that it's good, because this top bolt you're using for your steering wheel, and if it's not perfectly on the top, your wheel's not going to be straight. So what you want to do is make sure this is perfect. And then you're going to want to put that nut back on once that's perfectly on. So I'll show you that. Once you're comfortable with how this goes on, or how it went on, you can just fully tighten this up. Alright? You want this nut to be pretty tight, but you don't want it to be like super tight that you can never ever get it off again, because there is a spring back here pushing this forward, so it acts kind of like a lock washer, I guess. But yeah, you want this decently tight, and then you just take these cords and then like wrap them around like that, and then you put this cover back on, like it goes like that. So yeah, I'll show you. So it's gonna look like this. You can't see the wiring, you can't see that yellow horn plate, and now the easy part, which is putting the steering wheel on. I say this is the easy part because it's literally 6 Allen wrench bolts, which they did include in the kit with a little Allen wrench too. So first you want to, because I don't know how many of them come like this, but mine came with 2 of these little horn pieces. This is the JDM one, and the other one was a Type RS one, and this is not a Type RS Miata, whatever. So you just put this like in the wheel like that, line it up with the holes, get your little piece in the middle lined up nice, line this metal bracket up with the holes like that, and then yeah, line it up with those holes and then tighten her up. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, the wheel is installed, it's nice and tight, but airbag light is flashing. So what we're gonna do is there's a screw here, Phillips head, and there's a screw here, it's also a Phillips head, and this shade thing will just literally pop right off, and then we can pull the instrument cluster up, pull the LED out, electrical tape it, put it back in, put the screws back in, and then you won't see it anymore. But yeah, it's on, nice and straight, wheels nice and straight. So yeah, let's take this thing off. When you get this shield thing off, you're gonna see 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this will come right out. At this point, you're just gonna want to unplug those wires going in, and then the whole panel will actually fully come out. So yeah, unplug those 2, and then you're good to go. Alright, so the airbag thing is right there, so we're gonna flip it, and it's right here. So what we're gonna do is wrap this in electrical tape and then put it back in. Alright, so you find your airbag thing, wrap it in electrical tape, and then put it back in. Alright, before you screw everything in and try and put everything back together, just make sure everything works, like, before you do it. See, now the airbag light is not flashing because it's wrapped in electrical tape. But yeah, if you take the LED out completely, you will get this very high-pitched, loud beeping coming from this, indicating that like your light is blown out, but you just pulled it out. So yeah, do not pull it out, just electrical tape it. Does the job. So I think maybe if you have some black spray paint lying around, just spray paint the LED. That'd work too, because, you know, just blacking it out. But yeah, now when you know everything works again, go ahead and put it all back together and you're pretty much done. So this concludes our aftermarket steering wheel install. It takes a little bit of skill, but it's not too. If you just follow the video step by step, anybody could do it. But yeah, one thing I did notice is that it is a little bit smaller, but I actually wanted a smaller one. It definitely feels great, like, in the hand. Definitely looking forward to going drifting. Feels great, looks great, and yeah. It's definitely a mod that adds a little bit of style to your interior. So yeah, I think the kit was 40 bucks on eBay for the wheel and the hub. It's pretty cheap, looks good, feels great, and yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.